organized on behalf of Mass Awareness Campaign, Vidyut Surakshit Bharat Abhiyan. A year-long campaign on electrical safety follows the modern national and international practices with an aim to reduce electrical accidents and its fatalities to save people and property. The program is organized by CISA, Center for Innovation in Social and Science Actions. CISA is a registered NGO bearing more than a decade of fruitful interventions in issues relating to science, technology, and society. Sorry, hello.
You can continue.
Yeah. So to start the event, I welcome Mr. Subramaniam, Head of Electrical, CEPO, for giving a welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. So, respected dignitaries from CISA. I think Madam is available. Madam Bhatnagar.
Good morning. I'm here.
Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Appao sir, Mr. Gupta sir from Central Electricity Authority. Available?
Yes.
Okay. I extend a very warm welcome to all you, sir, for this inaugural program. And at the outset, I would really like to compliment the efforts of CISA in organizing this year-long program on this electrical safety and accidents, which is of highly important from the point of view of personal accidents and also saving property at various organizations, and society at large will benefit from these programs. I heard that these programs were held in other organizations like railways and all. I think it is a turn of Department of Space now to host this program. And Department of Space has huge electrical installations and also huge structures, launch pads, assembly buildings, then test centers, control centers, where electrical safety and avoiding accidents are of paramount importance. I think this program will be benefiting a lot. And I also would like to welcome Director CEPO, respected Director CEPO, Professor Satish Dhawan, Professor Scientist Sharma sir, Group Director IPRC Dr. Ramesh sir, all for this program. And I also like to place on record the contribution of IPRC in taking initiative in organizing this program. And all electrical engineers from ISRO centers, I welcome them for this program and utilize this program to the best of to enrich their knowledge and use this program. This program will last for 4 days. I think morning 2 hours and in the afternoon 2 hours. I think I request all of you to take time off and participate in this program actively and enrich your knowledge. In fact, on a holiday also, one of the days, I think it's a holiday, you can still participate from home and benefit from the program. Thank you, and over to Deepak.
Deepak, you are on mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your welcome address. Now we'll move on to the program. So I would like to invite Sri Appao for an introduction to our All India Awareness Program. So Sri Appao is a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronics from Alagappa Chettiar College of Technology, Karaikudi in Tamil Nadu. He has more than 40 years of experience and joined the Department of Tamil Nadu Electrical Inspectorate in 1983, and he has retired as a Chief Electrical Inspector to the government in 2015. He is a certified energy auditor. He has also conducted various seminars, webinars on electrical installation designs, earthing, and energy conservation. So we welcome Sri Appao for introduction of Vidyut Surakshit Bharat Abhiyan awareness program on electrical safety. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not able to share my screen. Can you please let me try?
Yes, sir. I have already shared.
Oh, fine. So let me interact with you while running this introduction. Okay. Thank you, Sri Subramaniam and Deep. First of all, I would say a very good morning to the distinguished dignitaries from all the sectors, and especially engineers from ISRO, a prestigious institution of our country. And good morning to you all. I take much pleasure in giving introduction to the year-long All India campaign called Vidyut Surakshit Bharat Abhiyan for propagating electrical safety practices among the stakeholders. See, the thing is, once we energize or synergize, once we synergize the standards, codes, and regulation, it will become clear for the participants as well as the engineers across the country to get themselves cleared of all doubt. Am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. This is the objective of the campaign to propagate safety measures among the engineers who are the stakeholders for this country and to minimize the number of accidents in our country. Yes. See, here we are thankful to CISA. Slide. Next slide. So CISA is a Center for Innovation in Science and Social Action. It's a NGO organization, and it is also functioning with an objective of a sustainable development, and it is engaging professionals and experts for the benefit of the society. And it's a great service, one more service from CISA to propagate this noble campaign across this country. Next slide, please. Professor, next slide.
Yes, changed.
See, you are all aware that recently a lot of fires are occurring in our country, especially for the past 3 years, more than 217 major blazes have occurred, which includes a recent fire of a Serum Institute at Pune, and we have come across with several other electric fire, and as per NCRB statistics, we all know that at an average of 15,000 electrocutions occur in our country, the two in all LV and ME installations. So our focus has become the area of concentrating more and more on LV installations. Next slide. So when we come, this is the, I think this is the presentation offered by one Mr. Takashi Honda during 2016. This shows where we are. This is the accidental electrocution per 100 million of people, and India stands scores with 16% only compared to the South Korea and Argentina. You can see the Japan is the least accident. Also, previously Japan was having a high number of accidents. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Professor, please change the slide.
Yeah, changed.
Yes. So you might be aware of the situation in our country, and we have to concentrate much on it. So our people should be conversant with the blind spots. They have to clear off their minds for the. So we have a focus on earthing and basic design criteria on electrical installation. IS 732 as well as IS 1343 will be dealt more, because these two IS codes, if referred by the engineers along with the CE regulations, would clear up all their doubts. In order to create awareness, we have shortlisted these 7 areas. First, part 1 and 2 are related to earthing, and third one is basic design criteria of an LV electrical installation, and inspection and testing of an electrical installation is important thing that most of the people are forgetting, or they are carrying out in a ritual manner. And with the latest advent of solar PV installation, we require some insight into the earthing, specific earthing protocol for the solar PV, especially these installations. And with regard to the lightning protection also, we have a separate module, the design, erection, and testing as per IEC and a dual standard of IS and IEC 62305, which will clear the doubts because people are confused over the locally available and non-standard installations. I would like to say that CEA clearly directs the enforcing authority to observe national and international IEC standards for the electrification or electrical installation practices. And the surge protection device is one more subject that we have devised. Slide. Go, sir.
Yes.
So we can simply, in a nutshell, we can say that how the accidents, what are the reasons for the major cause for the accidents to occur in our country. The first one is awareness. The awareness creation among the people are not so sufficient to overcome the latest trend as well as the flaws and clear the myth. So awareness creation is an important subject, and the design, the basic parameters as well as the safety parameters involved in the design is an important matter, especially the fault loop impedance is not at all measured during the initial, before the initial commission process. And the erection, most of the people are using low quality products, especially the house wiring are carried out using copper instead of class 2 copper, class 5 copper instead of class 2 copper conductor, which provides a high resistance as well as other problems of getting heated. So this we have to be aware. And testing and inspection, except earth resistance and the IR value. Strictly speaking, earth electrode resistance will not come into picture at all. While you go through these slides for LV installation, unlike EHV and other things, earth electrode insulation doesn't come into picture because the earth electrodes are provided to maintain a base between the phase and neutral, to provide a phase with reference to the neutral, and most of the current will be fault current will be carried through the earthing conductor, that is protective earthing conductor, directly to the neutral. Only a leaking path will be available. Then, with regard to the national standards and regulations, we have provided American, British are often used. We know that those are all used. No doubt. It is not necessary. We have enough standards and regulations in our country, and it is sufficient if we follow and clear our own doubts. Because recently, dual standards have come into our country to cover all the international practices updated. And some misconceptions. We are having dedicated air and the thermography and LV insulation. So many fancy products are coming into picture, like digital earthing and yearly streamer emission. So we have to be aware of these non-standard products and observe, see a regulation in spirit as per regulation 12 and 29 plays a vital role casting the accountability of installers. And another thing, the cost. People are not interested in getting a good electrical installation at an optimum cost. They are carried over by the fancy things like chemical earthing. So many blah blahs in this area. We have to remove those types with reference to the code standards and practice. And another thing, most of the installations are being carried away by the professionals is missing there. Either the civil contractor or the mechanical engineers are looking into this basic design either by the consultant or by the architects, that we have to raise and to the occasion and involve ourselves. We electrical engineers should involve ourselves in the project execution as well as the design. Go sir, next slide, please. And this is well supported by experts from across the country. Myself and Mr. P.K. Patnaik, General Manager of OPTCL, and Mr. Srinivas, who is conversant with medical installation, is a consultant, and Mr. James, and Mr. Vasant Nagde from Inspectoral Organization of Maharashtra State, and we have Devdas Goswami, an expert from a long experienced personality from BAS and currently International Copper Association, and also we have consultants. That means we have people from various areas, from inspectorial organization, from consultant side, from the transmission and standard side. So the thing is, we are involving all these people, and we are sure that we will bring out a good work in our propagation. Next slide, Gopa sir. Next slide, sir. Gopa sir.
Yes, done.
And we are supported by the nation's organizations, prestigious organizations and statutory organizations like Bureau of Indian Standards, Central State Authority, and so many organizations are behind us to support this program. And I would like to say that finally, I would like to state that the person standing tall on all the activities, including conception, devising modules for programs, and conducting it successfully is none other than Mr. Gopa Kumar. I congratulate him for his consistent and incessant efforts in bringing any event meticulously and continuously throughout the year. I also thank the organizer, ISRO, the prestigious organization of this country, for this opportunity in introducing this technical and training campaign, especially among the 4-day-long campaign for the ISRO. With this, I would like to end my introduction today. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful introduction. So next, moving on to the next, I would like to invite Sri Ravindra Gupta for an inauguration and inaugural speech for this exclusive webinar and training program for ISRO. Sri Ravindra Gupta, IES Chief Electrical Inspectorate to Government of India. He has got his MTech in Power Systems during 1988, joined in CEA in 1989 through IES. He has got 30+ years in transmission development, hydro projects, and other strategic projects in India. Sri Gupta is pioneer in spreading electrical awareness at pan-India level, and his division under his guidance has conducted more than 20 workshops on electrical safety last year. He has been instrumental in reducing electrical accidents per electrical infrastructure per electrical consumers in India compared to previous years. We welcome Sri Gupta ji for his speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Respected Shri K. Subramaniam, Head Electrical and AC, CEPO, ISRO. Shri H.S. Ravi Kumar, Director, CEPO, ISRO. My colleague Shri L.K.S. Rathore, Director, REO West. Shri Gopa Kumar, Managing Director, Cape Electric Private Limited. Distinguished guests and officials present from ISRO. Very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to congratulate CISA and ISRO for organizing this 4-day training program for engineers of ISRO on electrical safety and other technical aspects for safe usage of electricity at workplace as a part of Vidyut Surakshit Bharat Abhiyan. As told by Mr. Apuaji, that during this training program, there will be various technical sessions on lightning protections, earthing, designing of LV electrical installations, verification of LV electrical installation, solar PV, surge protection devices. I strongly believe this technical session will help in enhancing the knowledge on safe usage of electricity and safe electrical practices at workplaces. As all of you know that electricity is the lifeline of any country. Growth of any economy is dependent on electricity. We cannot imagine life without electricity. I am able to communicate to you today that it is only because of electricity. Though electricity has made our life comfortable, any carelessness in dealing with electricity may result an accident which may be fatal sometimes. Keeping this aspect of electricity in view, electricity rules 1937 were framed in the pre-independence era. Post-independence, these rules were called Electricity Rule 1956. After enactment of the Electricity Act 2003, CA has made this safety regulation under Section 53 of the Electricity Act. So far, we have carried out 3 amendments in these regulations for enabling provision of self-certification of electrical installation up to notified voltage by owner or consumer themselves, or for they can take also the help of chartered electrical safety engineers in this regard. Safety provisions for electric vehicles has also been included in these amendments. Keeping the technological advancement and in view, additional safety measures like RCD, arc fault detecting devices, surge protection devices, fire resistance, low smoke, low halogen cable for high-rise building, fire retardant, low smoke, zero halogen cable for airport, hospital, and hotels has been made in proposed amendments to the safety regulation. I believe that these provisions will help in reducing electrical fire incidents. So our comprehensive review of the CA regulation is in final stages, and hope so it will be notified in a due course. First, I would like to congratulate all the stakeholders for enthusiastic participation in this, giving their comments on the review of our safety regulations. As you all know that on average in India, around 14,000 electrical accidents takes place every year in India. And in these accidents, around 5,000 precious lives are lost. During COVID-19 pandemic also, we have seen a lot of fires in hospitals and nursing homes and COVID centers. These were mainly because of electrical short circuits. Some of them were due to the failure of medical equipment used in the ICU, and some because of the fault in the AC unit, or some because of the overloading of the electrical installations. It is seen that most of the electrical accidents take place at the low voltage level. If we analyze these all electrical accidents, mainly fatal accidents, we found that the reason behind the fatal accidents is that person either accidentally comes in contact with the live conductor, or in some cases it is found that the installation was defective, and in other cases it is seen that the person who has died was carrying out unauthorized work. Main reason behind the non-fatal accident is neglect of the safety regulations. Though the electrical accidents in India are very high when we compare with the developed countries in the world, it is seen that our electrical infrastructure is also growing because of the RE additions, renewable energy additions, or because of the growing energy demands. Recently, we have achieved a milestone of 100 gigawatt of renewable energy additions. Our installed capacity has increased to 100 gigawatt of RE. If we compare with other world's countries, India is in the 4th position in terms of total RE installed capacity. If we compare with solar energy, India stands 5th, and in terms of wind energy, India stands 4th. So we have a very ambitious target of addition of 450 installed capacity of 450 gigawatt by 2030. So because of all these, our electrical infrastructure is also growing at a rapid pace. So if we count electrical accidents per unit of electrical infrastructure or per unit of consumer serves, then we are seeing that in past our count of electrical accidents is reducing. Another major deaths involving electricity is due to the lightning strikes. It is seen that around 2,000 to 2,500 deaths take place in India, mainly in Jharkhand, UP, MP, Bihar, and Odisha. I would like to congratulate Shri Gopa Kumar. Because of his consistent effort in this, we are able to reduce death due to lightning strikes in Kerala. Thank you very much, Sir Gopa Kumar ji. Keeping this aspect of electricity, so to reduce electrical accidents, in my opinion, that every utility should have a zero accident vision. Each unfortunate electrical accident should be analyzed thoroughly, and the lesson learned or recommendation from that analysis should be implemented thoroughly so that such type of electrical accidents are not repeated in that organization. Not only that, we should implement these recommendations. We should share these recommendations with our other organizations also, so that such type of electrical accidents are not repeated in other organizations. As a part of sensitization towards safe uses of electricity, CA has been conducting safety workshops. During COVID pandemic, we have conducted more than 25 such workshops. In these workshops, mainly the safety regulations of the CA are deliberated. We have also published a handbook called Sachet, Electrical Safety Handbook called Sachet. In this, basically, various safe electrical practices, various do's and don'ts has been depicted pictorially. How to fight, protect yourself against lightning, various first aid measures has also been discussed in this handbook. We have a plan to publish this handbook in the local languages also. Mr. Gopa Kumar has also published a guide on electrical safety in LV system that called the missing link. I understand this book will also help in reducing electrical accident and fire incidents in an effort towards enhancing electrical safety. We have decided to measure 26th June of every year as a National Electrical Safety Day, and the week onward as a National Electrical Safety Week. So in the end, I would like to urge every engineer and technicians that they should follow the safety regulation in letter and spirit. Take proper permit of work before starting any maintenance work. Ensure that the section on which the maintenance work is being carried out is isolated from the both ends. Not only it should be isolated, but it should be temporarily earthed from both ends to avoid residual charge or accidental charging or switching. In June last year, a fatal accident took place in a housing colony at Ganjam, Odisha, where a helper got electrocuted while carrying out replacement of insulator 11 kV overhead line, which was supplying power to the housing colony. The line was isolated from one end, but it got back charged when the DG set to supply power to the colony housing society was on. This accident could have been prevented if the section was isolated from both ends. So I would request that all engineers should properly isolate the section where they are working. They should use proper tools when they go out for the maintenance work. They should ensure that the tools is having proper insulation. They should not use any tool which has a damaged insulations. After completion of the maintenance work, they should remove tools and plant from the site. They should remove temporary earthing, and then only they should return the permit to work. They should use personal protective equipment as mentioned in our CA safety regulation. Further, the joints and connectors are critical component of any electrical installation. Good workmanship will help in preventing any fire incidents. I understand by following these safety measures, we can achieve our common goal of accidents-free India. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, we would like to invite Sri Ravi Kumar, Director CEPO, for his speech on training program. So, Sri Ravi Kumar, Director CEPO, completed his BE in 1987 and joined ISRO in 1989. He served in various divisions of ISRO such as CEE Hyderabad, CEE Bangalore, and URSC as a Group Director of CMG. Currently, he is the Director at CEPO. So we welcome Sri Ravi Kumar, sir, for his speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Respected Sri Apavoji and respected Sri Ravindra Gupta ji, Madam Kriti Bhatnagar, and Professor Sri Government Scientist Sharma ji. So this is a very good topic for 4 days for our engineers in all the centers. It is a very much required also in the present scenario of the ISRO electrical installation. We have placed so many electrical installations in all over the country in different centers of different kind. All are innovative. So it will be different from the one installation to other installations and all. So it is very much required also. When come to the topics we have specified here, these are very, very relevant and day to day is we are coming across all these things. In every day, these are all the things to be looked at. And like electrical protection is very much required. So we are providing all the electrical protection things. And further how to improve, and that we can have a section. So there are 100 classes are going to be in 4 major subjects and 25 classes in special subjects. So I hope our engineers will get benefit from this lecture. So many lectures yet to come in further 4 days. So I wish all our electrical engineers to listen carefully and note the points and implement wherever mostly in the area and down the people. So work engineers working under you, technicians working under you, you are educated. So then we can achieve the accident-free and fatal-free area in the electrical area. That much I can say. Further, we will finish on the withdrawal.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for your speech. So next, we would like to invite our guest of honor, Srimati Preeti Bhatnaik. Head Electrotechnical Bureau of Indian Standards, for delivering her speech on the program. Sri Preeti Bhatnagar is an electrical engineer by profession and has been working in BAS more than 30 years in the field of standardizations, formulation, certifications, and training. She has worked in different branches of BAS like Delhi, Jaipur, Ghaziabad, Bhopal. So we would like to invite Srimati Preeti for his presentation. Over to you, madam.
Thank you very much. Shri K. Subramaniam, Shri S. Appavu, Shri Ravindra Gupta, Shri Ravi Kumar, Dr. Sharma, distinguished speakers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. It is indeed my pleasure to be with you all for this very informative session on electrical safety organized by the Center for Innovation in Science and Social Action for ISRO engineers. Electricity, it is a boon to mankind. In today's world, it is difficult to visualize our existence without electricity. Since its discovery, this has perhaps been the most utilized source of inanimate energy. However, it has shortcomings too, as already been pointed out earlier, and we are all aware about the electrical hazards, which can be defined as dangerous conditions arising out of contact or equipment failure, resulting in electrical shock, arc, flash burn, thermal burn, or blast. Possible electrical hazards may include overhead power lines, underground cables, internal wiring in home and outside, electrical equipment, and appliances. The examples could be cracked and damaged electrical outlets and plugs, exposed wires on extension leads and appliance leads, using electrical appliances in wet conditions, working too close to overhead power lines, that is, when fencing gullies, felling trees, etc. Some regular suggested ways to reduce the risk of hazards from electricity are regular check of extension lead, tools, and appliances for hazards, such as exposed terminals or wiring insulation, pulled out of housing. If any tool or appliances gives you a tingle, it is advised to stop using it immediately and get it checked for leakage of current. When using tools and appliances outdoor, it is advised always to use isolating transformers or residual current devices, keeping a safe working distance from overhead power lines because electricity can jump across gaps. Most of the hazards can be prevented through use of good quality products, proper design of installation, proper selection of equipment, defining good installation practices, and regular inspection and maintenance. Good quality electrical installation shall not create an accident such as electrocution, fire, and shall offer trouble-free long life for the connected equipment. Standards provide consumers and manufacturers confidence that their products are safe, reliable, and of good quality. It also helps regulators and governments in preparing better and comprehensive regulations due to involvement of various stakeholders like government bodies, labs, manufacturers, industry associations, academia, consumer organizations, etc., in the preparation of the national standards. In this context, effective implementation of Indian standards and regulations also play a key role to avoid such accidents. Every person who is involved in design and construction of electrical installation should invariably familiarize themselves with the principal set of regulations issued by Central Electricity Authority Safety Regulation 2010 and various product standards and code of practices released by the Bureau of Indian Standards. A typical approach to electrical safety comprises the following three major components: installation codes, such as the National Electric Code of India, product standards and performance evaluations, inspection of the electrical installations performed by qualified inspection authorities. Each of these three components has a distinct and important role in supporting electrical safety in electrical installations. In addition to installation codes, product standards, and qualified inspection personnel, an important factor in ensuring safe electrical installations is the qualification of those persons who are actually performing the installation. Proper trainings of electricians is of utmost importance to the safety of the installation and those involved. In this regard, PTD 20, this is the sectional committee of BIS, has prepared several product standards for providing guidance for good quality electrical products. Codes of practices for installations also exist. Perhaps it was considered necessary to compile these in a systematic manner in order to provide guidance to different stakeholders. The standardized codes of practices formulated were ultimately compiled as a national electrical code. Due to various development in the electrical field and increased communication and removal of trade barriers, it was felt necessary to review and revise NEC. Therefore, Electrical Installations Sectional Committee ETD 20 took up the task of revision of the NEC. Some of the important Indian standards prepared by this committee are of utmost importance in the field of electrical safety. Some of them are the Special Publication 30, that is a National Electrical Code, which I had just mentioned, IS 732, Code of Practice for Electric Wiring Installations, IS 3043, Code of Practice for Earthing, IS 10118, Code of Practice for Selection, Installation, and Maintenance of Switchgear and Control Gear, IS/IC 62305, Protection Against Lightning, IS/IC 60479, Effects of Current on Human Being and Livestock. All these standards, I have just come to know that these all will be taken up for discussions in detail and for the training in the coming sessions of this webinar. And also my colleague will touch upon these standards and give an overview later on during this session. In addition to the above, various important aspects of electrical installations like earthing and lightning protection systems are revised as per the latest international practices. IS 732 gives the rules for the design, erection, and verification of electrical installations. The rules are intended to provide for the safety of persons, livestock, and property against dangers and damage which may arise in the reasonable use of electrical installations, and to provide for the proper functioning of these installations. IS/IC 62305 series of standards for lightning protection is referred in revised draft of NEC. This supersedes the previous standard IS 2309. Broader focus on protection against lightning, including the structure and services connected to the structure, specific tables relating to sizes and types of conductors and earth electrodes, extensive sections, explanations provided on equipotential bonding as per the latest version of IS/IC 62305 have all been included in the revised draft of the NEC. Similarly, for earthing, latest version of IS 3043 standard is referred in the draft, which includes updated requirements of soil treatment and earthing resistivity enhancing materials, and various aspects like structural steelwork earthing, mesh resistance, and calculation of ground surface potentials have also been included. I'm sure that the good work would be spread to all stakeholders across the country through technical presentations to be made by the expert committee members. I would also like you to inform everybody involved that there is a BIS stock film which we have prepared on the standards which have been published by the Electrotechnical Department of the Bureau of Indian Standards. This stock film has been posted on our website, that is bis.gov.in, and it gives a complete overview of all the standards which have been published and their applications. And I implore that all of you must definitely see this film. It is a half-an-hour film and very informative. With these few words, I appreciate the efforts of CISA to promote the awareness and understanding of electrical safety subject. And thank you all for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your speech. So next, we would like to invite Dr. D.P. Sharma, Professor Satish Dhawan, scientist, for delivering speech on the program. So Dr. Sharma has a BSc Electrical and MTech Electrical Power System and PhD in Energy Planning from Kerala University. He has worked in CED, ISRO headquarters, head electrical CED, and also an associate director of CEPO and director of CEPO. Currently, he is a professor in Satish Dhawan, scientist from 2020. Actively involved in energy conservation and DSM, involved in implementation of renewable energy. So we would like to invite Mr. D.P. Sharma for the speech. Over to you, sir.
Respected eminent speakers, respected madam, I'm slightly apologetic that I don't have a structured speech with me. I only have a few stray thoughts which I would like to share with you. In fact, today morning I thought, I saw the invitation from Subramaniam that today we have a seminar on electrical safety. Just opening the Deccan Herald today, two news were there. One is that a boy of age 14, day before yesterday when he was hoisting the flag in Kalaburgi, that is Gulbarga, died out of electrocution. 14 years boy in the school when he was hoisting the flag yesterday. He was the only one son. In the inner pages of Hindu, there was another news which says that one boy in some Tamil Nadu interior parts, when he was flying the kite, touched the electric line, electrocuted. These are the mixed feelings. It is whenever a death happens, it is somebody's dear that happens. So with this, looking back to this electricity, perhaps all of us will be knowing that 1821 electricity was invented 200 years back. Michael Faraday gave us a pot of treasure, Amrita. By opening that pot, we released Amrita, but along with that, we released a devil also. It was power. The power to live, and the same electricity is the power to kill also. So the journey of electricity is a journey of development of mankind, and all along with that, there was always hazard, danger traveling with electricity. So it becomes all along more important to think of safety also whenever we handle electricity. So in short, discussing about electricity is discussing about life, discussing about an accident-free life. Perhaps you will be aware that every day it is a statistics only, which makes meaning if I say that every day in India happens 30 deaths at an average out of electrocution. Or I can say that in the past 1 hour when we were discussing these things, at least one person, maybe a housewife in some kitchen who was touching an induction cooker, or a boy who was playing with his electric toy, or a poor wireman who was there in the overhead repairing, died out of electrocution. One man per 1 hour at least. And of course, it makes more important that only untrained people, lowest of the lower people, ordinary people, I again underline ordinary people die, not the highest learned people. So it opens the avenue, it signifies the need for a better training, imparting awareness and a better knowledge on how to handle it more safely. So even after 200 years, it is absolutely essential that you should have a better protocol and better mechanism to handle the electricity more safely. I am sure my friend Gopakumar is doing immense, tremendous work in this direction, tirelessly to provide training for this. But I have a small suggestion. You should catch the youngsters. You should catch the boys and girls in the schools also to impart training so that it comes as a part of their day-to-day routine life, which will be more prudent rather than making a higher engineering sector aware of these things. Certainly that also is required, but we should have some program to inculcate safety, electrical safety awareness to the students also. Anyway, I wish all the best with this training program and to my friends. Thank you.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you for your speech. So next we have a special guest today who is an ex-official of ISRO Electrical Division and an advisor of our 1-year safety campaign, Mr. Srinivas. Mr. Srinivas is a postgraduate electrical engineer, worked for Department of Space, Government of India from 1985 to 1995. He has established Synergy Infra Consultancy Private Limited in the year of 1996 and worked on more than 3,000 projects like healthcare, residential, commercial, IT, retail, etc. So, besides, he has also worked in defense projects of national importance. So, I would like to invite Mr. Srinivas for his speech. Over to you, sir.
So, namaste. Good morning to everybody. It's really a pleasure to talk to all my ex-colleagues I'm seeing after a very, very long time. It's really a nice meeting, I think, all the group members. And I would say whatever I am today is only because of ISRO, which is one of the finest organizations that I have come across and really does a very wonderful job. And I had the opportunity to work on some of the projects as a part of the electrical design section. And I was there almost for 11 and a half, 12 years. And that has given me the strength and knowledge basically to lead a team of more than 100 people today, what we are. And I would like to share only a couple of things. When we were there in ISRO, when I was there rather, and we used to work on a lot of innovative things like, how to work on different kinds of earthing, how to reduce the earth resistivity using two-layer methods, and also the lightning protection systems. And especially for the PSLV launch vehicle, that was really a very good experience, working with Professor Nagabhushna. Keeping out all these things, what we have seen there is always we used to follow a thing called equipotential bonding in ISRO for most of the hazardous facilities. But today we see a lot of outside consultants and outside projects. People ask for a different earthing systems, different earthing stations. And this is much more prevalent in case of hospitals, which I feel, it's very, very pathetic. Every guy, any related guy, with MRI or CT scan or X-ray, they come and say, give us 2 earth pits, as if it is a punisher for every kind of problem. We have also in the process done a lot of power quality studies, and we found out that the equipotential bonding is the only answer that can save any kind of life, and also providing proper lightning protection for the buildings. In fact, during the last many years, the early streamer emission terminals is what has taken over, many of the projects, and a lot of education is required, especially when these people, they say it is conforming to French national standards. Whereas if you look at NFPA or SIGRE or IEEE, most of these people have rejected it as a failure thing. And early streamer emission terminals also banned by our National Building Code of India. It can be used as one of the, finials, but not. It cannot probably generate the kind of streamers at 10 to the power of 6 meters per second velocity what they climb, under which conditions it is supposed to work. So this is one of the biggest drawbacks of that, and this is not to be used. And this is my, this is what we have been working on in most of the projects, try to educate people that a common earthing grid, whether it is neutral, even we discuss with number of electrical inspectors at various states, and they still say better you provide separate neutral earthing for transformer, separate for DG set, make it separate lightning protection earthing. But unfortunately, these are all not the better practices. My only sincere advice to everybody, whoever is listening, not only, of course, ISRO, I'm sure they are the pioneers in this line, and I'm sure they will be following all these latest codes and standards, including the new lightning protection code of IEC 62305. And I'm sure that with this kind of, the implementation of IS 732, and also we have on the healthcare facilities a new IS, for IS 17152, based on which we are making some kind of lectures as a part of this consortium. And I hope, this kind of education series, whatever Mr. Bob Kumar and his team has initiated, it is going to do a lot of education in this line, and we hope to see shock-free or electrical fire-related incidents can be completely eliminated by doing for some of these methods. I wish all the best to all the people whoever is attending the program, and I wish that this particular series can be spread out to everybody in every organization, and also through videos or lectures or whatever it is, and then we can become completely safe nation. Thank you very much. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I would like to invite Sridhar, scientist, CEPO, ISRO, for giving his vote of thanks. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Deepak. Exactly 1 month before, there was a lightning incident, and within a span of 24 hours, 74 people died across 3 states, Rajasthan, MP and UP. In one of the incident, a team of 20 tourists who were visiting the Amber Fort in Rajasthan climbed up to the watchtower, which was the peak of the fort wall. And one person leading the team, he extended a selfie stick with a mobile on its active mobile on its hand to take a group selfie. He never expected that it will end up as a vertical air termination for the thunder clouds above. Within a flash, all the 20 were baked to death. So this is a clear case of lack of awareness among the masses regarding the electricity and lightning. At this outset, I extend a special thanks on behalf of Team ISRO, spanning across all centers of ISRO, to the noble cause of CISA coming up with this idea for mass awareness campaign. I extend special thanks to the participating and supporting organizations which are joined their hands with CISA in this noble campaign. I extend special thanks to our guest of honor, Madam Preeti Bhatnagar and Dr. D.P. Sharma, and all the dignitaries at this inaugural function, Sri Appavu, Sri Ravindra Gupta ji, Sri Srinivas, Director CEPO, and all other dignitaries present in this inaugural function. I extend special thanks to Sri Gopkumar and his team for their continued pursued efforts in spreading the awareness. I extend special thanks to Group Director IPRC and their team for taking up this initiative of bringing all the IPRC center together for this awareness session. I also extend my thanks to all the group directors, group heads, head CMDs of all construction and maintenance divisions across ISRO center for sparing their staff to get enriched with this awareness program. I extend my special thanks in advance for all the upcoming speakers for the upcoming technical sessions. I extend special thanks to all the participants for making this program a grand success in the coming four days. And I also extend special thanks to all the logistic supports and other technical support provided across all ISRO centers and all other organizations for making this program a success. Thank you. Over to Deepak.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your speech. So next we'll have a brief about the regulations and standards by Shri L.S. Rathur. LKS Rathur is an IEC and is a gold medalist from Government Engineering College, Bilaspur. Joined in an IEC officer batch 2005, looked after grid operations and management of Western region. Currently, he is the director in Regional Inspectorial Organization, CEA, looking after inspection related works, electrical accident investigations and analysis, and organizing the electrical safety awareness workshops. He has conducted 15 plus electrical safety awareness workshops under the guidance of Sri Ravindra Gupta. He was published several papers and articles in national and international level magazines. Recently, article on importance of electrical accident investigations was published in HSE 2021 Diary of National Safety Council. Presently working for electrical accident free India. So over to Mr. Rathur, Sri Rathurji. Hello.
Sir, you have to unmute.
Sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Are you seeing, sir, that presentation?
Yes.
Just a minute. Good morning, sir. Respected Ravindra Gupta, sir, Chief Electrical Inspector and Joint Secretary to the Government of India, Sri Subramaniam Sahab, Apurva Sahab, Ravi Kumar Sahab, Dr. Sharma, Preeti Bhatnagar Madam, and especially Sri Gopa Kumar Sahab. Thank you very much to give me opportunity to explain about the rules and regulation of this electrical safety aspect. And I am very thankful to this CISA team that they are taking the burden of our CI division to drive the mass movement to create the awareness in the electrical safety. This is the one of the very important portfolio. So far as the electrical inspector is concerned, apart from the inspection, we have to also do this one to create the awareness. And I really thanks to this CISA team, especially the Gopa Kumar Saab. Now, my topic is the electrical safety, CA regulation, electrical accident analysis. Overview of the session is that first I have to cover the Electricity Act 2003. In that part, only those portion which is the regulated with the electrical safety only, because the Electricity Act 2003 is the Bible for the power sector. So we touch upon those clauses and those articles only which is the relevant to the safety aspect. Next one is the CA, electrical safety regulation. Third one is the safety requirement for the construction, O&M of the electrical plants and the electric lines regulation 2011. The number 2 is the safety regulation 2010. Now 4 is the electrical accident analysis, and then next way forward what we have to do. That before going to the actual presentation, as I want to see some regulation, how the misinterpretation is there in the regulation as well as the IS standard. See the first diagram, the earthing system. It is looking from the diagram itself. You can be see it is the that is the adverse type of diagram.
What we are seeing is a little bit different. The presentation, the slide is not moving. I think you have to unscreen. You have shared the file. I believe you have to share the screen. You have to unshare and share it again.
एक minute, sir. Just a minute.
You can share the screen. Yes.
Now, sir, it's
now
okay, sir.
See. Yes, you can put the full screen now.
It's okay, sir.
No, full screen has not come.
I put it the full screen.
No, sir, it is not coming. We are only seeing the small screen.
Okay.
Now, sir, actually, no. You can unshare again, and then if you share, if you press the share, you can see screen and window. You have to share the screen, not the window. If you press the share button, you will see share screen.
Great. Now, sir.
Now the file has come in the small view. You can put it on the full screen.
Now.
No.
Sir, share from your side.
Okay. One moment, please. So, sir, I am sharing. Deepak, the screen is clear, I believe.
Yes.
Now, sir, you can start, sir. The first is I am putting the second or the third misinterpretation.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Next one, you can see the vegetations, then in some control room panels, then the cable trench, OTI and WTI. Next is the danger plate. Next one, where the transformer is installed, some works have where the unsafe type of environment for the working. Next one is the body earthing, transformer which is not having any fencing. Now, from that diagram, we can see that the peoples are installing the electrical installation, but they have not following the 100% rules and regulation. Now, it is better to follow the rules, the construction, commissioning, everything has to be done as per the regulation, and the regulation and the standards are the made after the lot of that work done on it, and practical experiences they have made that is the snapshot of all these things experience. Next one is the electrical safety aspect in electrical Electricity Act 2003. Here the section 53 of the Electricity Act, which having the provision related to the safety and the electricity supply. Here, the CA has specified suitable measure in consultation with the state government for the protection of the public from the danger arising from the generation, transmission, and distribution. Everything is covered under this one. Section 73, CA has to specify the safety requirement for the construction, operation, and the maintenance of the electric plant in the line. Section 177, that is the CA by notification can make a regulation on the suitable measure relating to the safety and electric supply under section 53. On that one only we prepared our regulation, that is the right now it is the safety regulation 2010 which is in force, and in a near future the electric safety regulation 2021 will become. So that is in the pipeline only. Section 161, if some accidents occur in the any type of installation, there is the inquiry committee, and during the inquiry committee, the electrical inspector having the some power of the just like a civil court judge of the civil court during the discharging of his duty. And the section 161, all the appointment of the chief electrical inspector and electrical inspector, this is basically done with the gazette notification by the government, respective government. Either it is the central government, the Ministry of Power, or the Ministry of Power, Government of India, or the state government, their concerned Ministry of the State. Next one is this is the history of our regulation, safety regulation 1956, which was the basically previously it was the IE rule. Now it is a repeal after the coming of this safety regulation 2010. Some amendments were done in 2015, 2018, and 2019. So the 2015, the slightly amendment was in the 5 and 5A. Then the 32, 42, and 43 and 44. Similar to that, the amendment 2018 and 19. Recently, one amendment is on the electric vehicle charging station. The next one is the next one is the electrical system. Everyone aware with this one. Is there is the generation, transmission, distribution, and finally the utilization means the consumer premises. There are a lot of complex system from the right from the generating station up to our utilization point. So everywhere we have to alert to minimize the electrical accident, and that has to be constructed as per the rules and the regulation. The significance of the safety regulation is that what is the scope of this one? These regulations are applicable to all the electrical installation, either it is the electric plant or the lines or the generating station, or even it is the trading of it is the utilization of the electricity. Increasing the reported injuries, fire and death associated with this one, that is the unsafe use of the electricity in the hospital, mall, hotels, residential buildings, and factories, construction sites, and other establishment. Present. On an average, the 14,000 electrical accidents took place every year in India. Out of that, around the 4 to the 5,000 human lives are lost. So the main motto of this drive is, whatever the going on the program, that is to reduce this one and at least minimize up to the as per the European countries. The figures of the electrical accident in India is very high, and you can see the safety regulation emphasis on the practice needed to be followed by the generation, transmission, distribution, and the safe uses of the electricity. Now, how we had to read this one? Regulation is almost 230 page. It is a big book. So how we can read that? There are around at present only the 8 chapters are there in 2010, and some additional chapters are to be added in the 2021. Chapter 1 is the basically titles and definition. Chapter 2, that is the designated person, electrical safety officer, and the requirement of the training. So here, if you gone through this one, every organization has to have some electrical safety officer. So I requested to the ISRO also, they have to be place the electrical safety officer apart from their regular safety officer. Regular safety officer is different from the electrical safety officer. Next one is the general safety requirement. That is the chapter number 3, that 12 to 13, 32 regulation. Then the general condition relating to the supply, 33 to the 39, safety provision of the electrical safety. These are the how we can be. So here one thing I want to add this one, the additional safety requirement for the DGMS and the electric section means the regulation is from the CA only, the railway as well as the mines peoples, they are using the that CA regulation only. But apart from the our regulation is the basic regulation. From that they can also add the something as per their requirement. Chapter X, this is the chapter 10.1. This is for the new regulation 2021, safety provision for the electric vehicle charging station. This is the new emerging industry in the our Indian power sector. Another one is the electrical safety in HVDC. Previously it was not there in 2010. HVDC, now we have a sufficient HVDC terminals as well as the HVDC lines. That's why this was the this is again the incorporated in this one. Another one is there are so many GIS stations are there, gas insulated stations are there. So that GIS special some additional safety requirements are there incorporated in the chapter 12. Additional safety requirement in the solar installation is the speaker, the Gupta Sahab is told that around the 100 gigawatt is already the commissioned till the date on 14th only. So thus, apart from this, the solar and the wind energy having the tremendous portion of the total installation. Right now, we have the 380 gigawatt installation. Out of that 100 is the this one our solar and the wind only. Next one is the designated person. This is the regulation 5. So designated person, electrical safety officer requirement of the training. Here the sample is given. So that how the person, the contract licenses, no one can be do any electrical work without the approval of the licensing board. The electrical license has to be issued by the licensing board. Apart from this, another basic requirement is that every contractor may be the 12th pass, otherwise the 8th pass also. There is no any criteria for the contractor, but the contractor have to have some competent electrical supervisor, and competent electrical supervisor having some competency certificate, and they have to be the competency certificate has to be issued by the licensing board only. Now who can be the electrical safety officer? Those are officers who having the electrical engineering degree with the 5-year, the diploma with the 10-year experience in the O&M, they can be the ESO. What very important thing is, once we are appointing the ESO in any organization, our half burden for the electrical safety will be reduced. That is only the electrical safety officer is the responsible to take the safe operation of the electrical installation in the respective organization. Regulation 6 and 7, there are the training and training of the supervisor, training of the officer, training of the technician. That is mentioned in the regulation 6 and 7. But only one thing is very important here, that the training taken by these people has to be, the training issued has they have to be recognized from the either government, respective government, or from the central government, means the CA. Next one is the general safety requirement. This is under regulation 12.123. All this installation has to be as per the Indian standard. NEC should be there. If our Indian standard is not there, then we have to follow the international standard. Then another one is the mean sea level. If you see the diagram, the whole substation is filled with the water only. There is not proper the water discharging system. So the installation shall be installed above the mean sea level. If mean sea level is not declared by it is not there, then it has to be the that local municipal authority has declared the some MSL, so that has to be followed. Next one is the IS standards. So that IS 732 code practice for the electrical wiring installation, and that IS 3043 code of the practice of the earthing. Here this IC 60364 is also the equally important. So you can see this one how we can be interpret the National Electrical Code as well as the National Building Code. These are the relevant codes to during the commissioning as well as during the O&M of the electrical installation. Now see the regulation, violation of the regulation 17, the bare conductor, the cable which is the opening is that there is some metallic portion is there. That cable, if that open bare conductor touch that one, the whole that it will be the make the short circuit. Otherwise, any person who touch this one, immediately there may be the accident. Similar to that, another one you can see the how this the arrangement for the cabling work is there. Here I want to tell that the cabling has to be in a proper tree, cable tree. It should be the follow proper tree. This is the chalta hai type of attitude they are keeping, and they are simply installing that and taking this one as the out anyhow they have to supply that. That is their main motto. Next one, the regulation 18, the danger notice plate. Here it has to be in the second the right hand side. You can see that some danger notice plate is there, but it is totally faded. So if it is this type of thing is happening, it should be the immediately replaced. It is clear cut given in the regulation 18. Similarly, back side of the panel, this slogan has to be displayed. Isolate the power supply before opening this one. In this case, the non-current carrying metal part switchgear and the CP shall be the earth properly as per the relevant IS. Then the regulation 19, handling of the electric supply and apparatus, that is the especially for the PPs, personal protective equipments. So we are looking that yes, these are the safety people are the necessary harassing it. It is not like that. Even the one life is very important for the this whole project. So all the pre-piece equipment has to be there, and during the handling of the any electrical either during the construction or during the testing or during the O&M activity, the PP has to be the follow that they has to be the wear all the PPs. Then next one is the regulation 19. Any conducting apparatus handle adequate precautions shall be taken during the discharge. Sometimes what happened, particularly in the line case, the lines is open from the one side or both side also, but the vicinity of that another second circuit is going on, that induction level is there. So what we have to do before starting any job in that line, we have to be completely discharged. So that should be there. The list of the safety equipment and the emergency tools is already given in the schedule, our schedule. Then an actual also. These are the some testing equipment. The voltmeter, ammeter, that is multimeter, everyone is aware. Safety helmet, tongue tester, safety belt is equally important, safety shoes, hand gloves. Basically, the accidents are most of the accidents are because due to they're not using this type of PP equipments only. Relevant IS and sub-regulation 92 issued by the BIS. Rubber gloves, it is given in the IS 4770. PPs, it is a 15298. Industrial safety belt, that is the IS 3521. Specification for the industrial safety helmet 2925. Hand tools for the live working up to the 1000 volt and the 15,000 volt DC, that is again it is given in the 13772. Regulation 20 and 21, this is regarding the cable and the unsafe uses. See this diagram on the right side and left side also. The condition of the cable is not to be used. Otherwise, there may be the puncture and again the short circuit may be there, and there may be the chances of big electrical accident. So this should be the properly follow the cable of it should be portable, transportable apparatus, flexible. Complete it should be the as per the regulation. Regulation 27, provision applicable to protective equipment. Here the one that fire bucket is there. Sometimes what happens, the fire bucket is there, but which cannot be tested. It has to be tested regularly, and it should be the usable whenever it is needed. Another one is that dry sands is also there. That sometime we went for the inspection, the dry sands, which is using for this fire protection, they are the 3-year, 4-year-old only. They are keeping like this one. Sometimes some vegetation also grew on that sand also. First aid box. So this all are the given in the regulation 27. That's why this equipment should be there. Now, recently I visited some location where the first aid, I check the random check the first aid box. There that medicine used, they keep the medicine that was the expired date. 3-4 years it is keeping the same medicine, so that should not be there. It should be the refresh after the some fixed interval time. Next one, the regulation 28. The regulation 20 is this should be it is the regarding our SOC treatment chart. That SOC treatment chart shall be there in the control room, and where anywhere where the electrical installation is there. If someone is getting the SOC, immediately the treatment, the way of the treatment has to be read from that one, and it is not it should be that readable. Another thing is that if it is in Tamil Nadu, that should be in their language. It is in Gujarat, it should be published in their language, means the local language apart from the Hindi and English. Next one is so far as the electrical inspection is concerned, that is the 50% of the job. There are the whole inspection is divided into the two parts. First one is the first time charging, which is which has to be applied in the form A, and another from A means the regulation 43. Second one is the periodic inspection, means the renewal of the inspection, that is the form C. It is under the regulation 30. Now regulation 43, what are the the documents required during the inspection? First one is the work completion certificate, which is in the CA format, and it is given by the owner of the installation. Second one is the updated SLD, earthing layout and the site layout. Third one is the list of equipment in the CA format. CA format means the name of equipment, the capacity of equipment, the make of the equipment, then the serial number of the equipment. Another one is the manufacturer test, then the pre-commissioning test report, contractor and the supervisor license, free from encroachment area. That the declarations shall also be there. For the periodic inspection, only there are the 2 or 3 things are the utmost required. First one is the updated SLD, because in commissioning stage, whatever you commissioned, after that when some the modification may be there, so that updated SLD is a requirement. Next one is the list of equipment, previous approval, because it is already approved by someone. Sometime what happened, in some installation, if we go, some organization, central government organization also took the permission from the state government inspector. This is not a good practice. All the central government organization, I'm telling you here, the ISRO also, the ISRO, each and everything has to be inspected by the central government inspector only. Next one is the ESO detail, electrical safety officer detail, and some duly this checklist is there, form 1, 2, 3. And recent test equipment test reports are there. Now the approval from the EI, supplier consumer owner has to be apply through this one. For the new installation, we have to scrutinize that one. We go for the inspection, then whatever their observation, we put our IR inspection report. Then you have to comply that one. After that, after the completion of this one, we have to issue the approval. Similar for the periodic inspection also, we are going for that one. See the conditions of the equipment, and accordingly, if the inspector satisfied, they can be issue the renewable approval. Generally, the periodicity is the very important thing. Up to the 640 volt. This is basically the government notification only. I'm talking about the central government. If it is up to the 650 volt, that is a 4 year, and above 650 volt, it is a 2 year. So the periodicity, the renewal application has to be after 2 years for the more than 650 volt. Regulation 40, test of the installations, supplier or the owner of the test, that is as per our IS 732 and 6. total 10 number of the tests were included, the continuity test, the IR test, the protective floors, wall resistance, everything. This productivity test, this has to be the comply with the owner of the organization. Next one is the provision for the supply and the use of the electricity multi-story building more than 15 meter. If it is less than 15 meter, you need not to apply, provided I am talking about the ISRO. The capacity is the total capacity is less than 500 kVA, or this 15 meter height. If it is a less than 15 meter height and your installation is a more than 500 kVA, you need to apply. If it is a 15 meter height, above the 15 meter height building, everything has to be applied and took the EI clearance. So this is the condition for the buildings which having the 15 meter. Then generally the lift which is under this one, that's certified under the regulation 36 only. Then the connection with the earth, this is under the regulation 43. Earth fault loop into everything is specified in the regulation 41, and the frame, all the non-conductive part, even the frame, the control, the electricity consuming apparatus shall be the earth by the owner is specified in the IS 3043 as well as the IS 732. Regulation 44, that is the safety provision which having the voltage exceeding the 650 volt, that is the generally not in the substation which having the any equipment which oil field equipment which having the 2000 liter of oil and of the air in the basement where the proper oil drainage arrangement cannot be provided. The baffle separation wall should also be there. Shall be made a suitable oil soak pit. Spare oil shall not be the set in the vicinity of the any oil field equipment. The transformer protection should also be there. Now the something is again added in the 2021. This is for the information only. Now containing the regulation 43. Dry type of transformer only shall be used for the installation inside the residential and the commercial building. Next one, the regulation 45. Healthy relationship between the isolator, circuit breaker, and the switch. Proper sequencing should be there to operate the isolator, circuit breaker, and earth switch. Before closing this one, before closing the earth switch, we have to be isolated properly. Otherwise, it may be the short circuited. So these are the some different conditions are there. How we can be operate this interlock the system. Then the fire detection system, alarm protection, and for the substation and switchyard, a compressive fire detection alarm shall be there as per the relevant IS, and all buildings shall conform to National Building Code. The national, they have to, when they are the wiring is done, they have to follow the National Building Code properly. Similar to that, all the building inside the substation switchyard, such as the control room, even the GIS hall, relay room shall be provided with the fire detection system. Properly fire detection system should be there. Also, apart from the fire detection, means it is a part of the fire detection system, smoke detector as well as the heat detector should also be there. Water dehydrant system shall be provided in the following area: DG set, auxiliary power system, stools, and the fire fighting system, transformer. If some fire accident occurs, then immediately how we can be extinguish this fire. That is the main theme of this regulation. Now the chapter, next chapter, the 7th number chapter, safety requirement for the overhead line, underground cable, and the generating station. So the two things are not much more important, overhead line and the generating station, but the underground cable is equally important for the ISRO peoples. These are the different regulations. Properly laying should be there, and if there is some lightning system, the 74 is already given for the protection against the lightning. Then the properly earthing, guarding, general clearance should be there. Transporting of the and storing of the material near the overhead line, that is okay. There is not much. The next one is the safety requirement during the construction and owing of the electrical plant and electric lines regulation 11. This is 11. Previous one is the 2010. What about the inspection? What about the safety requirement, which is the before the charging, that is under the 2010. Periodic inspection is also the under the 2010 under section 30. Here, this is the new regulation, not related regulation. This is for, especially for the separate regulation for doing the construction and O&M practice. Safety requirement from construction. This is the again made by the CA only. Regulation 4, safety provision related to the owner makes safety as an integral part of the work process to ensure safety for the employee, including employees of contractor, subcontractor as well as the visitor. Obtain accreditation as per the IS 18001, set up a round and scientific safety management system, formulation of the written statement of the your safety policy, definition and documentation every of a responsibility to all level of the functionaries, preparing the detailed safety manual, complying with this is the under regulation 4 of the 2011 regulation. Again, establishing the procedure to identify the hazardous area, providing adequate human, physical, financial resources, providing the and maintaining the medical facilities, the OSC center. The next one is the adequate training has to be there. This may be the one part of this one only. Establishing system in the accident, reporting analysis, investigation, and the implementation of the recommendation, formulating the emergency management system for the quick response, establishing methodology for the internal and external audit of electric safety management. These are the given in the regulation 4. Regulation 5 is the safety, especially for the safety manual, which is the covered under the 4, that should be there within the regulation 5. Regulation 6. Safety officer and the safety committee should be there. Owner shall be appoint the qualified safety officer within their organization. A person shall not be eligible for the appointment of the safety officer unless he is the qualified. This under the section 40B of the Factory Act 1948, and whatever the rule under that one. So whatever the given in the section this one, they have to follow during the appointment of the electric safety officer, where the number of safety officer appointed exceeded one or one of them shall be designated as the chief safety officer, who shall be having the higher rank than the previous one. This is the natural thing. Then chief secretary, chief safety officer, or the safety officer as a case maybe shall be given the status of the senior executive, and he shall be work directly under the control of the chief executive of that installation other than this plant. The safety officer shall be appointed before the start of the construction activity itself. All these are covered under regulation 6 only, where the number of employees and okay, no issue. The safety committee shall also provided there should be proper coordination among the safety committee as well as the person who is working for the there. Safety committee shall also at least meet a list once in a month during the construction stage and once in the 3 months during the O&M activities. The owner shall be incorporate the safety provisions of the contract documents, and which are required to be the compiled by the contract employees. When doing the this is for the contractor. The regulation 7 is specific for the contractor doing the construction activity. So regulation 9 is for the emergency management plan. Something is happening, some gas explosion, otherwise the landslides are there, floods, earthquake, storm, cyclone, like this type of things is there. So then it is clear cut specified in the regulation 9. Regulation 10 is for the medical facility. Here also the first aid box is included here. Apart from this one, the OSC is also there, Occupational Health Center. Next one is the safety regulation 11, safety training and awareness. There are this whole program, 4 days program is under this one only. General awareness, first aid, emergency procedure, use of the PPT. Everything has to be covered during the training. Safety training and awareness, site specific hazardous. Okay, this is okay, no issue. Last one is the electrical accident statistics and its analysis. See how we can be analyze this one accident occurs in our country. This is a report. I'm talking about all the reported data only. There may be some incidents are the people are fearing that some accident occur. They are not reporting to the concerned electrical inspectorate. CA furnishing the statistics, returns and information regulation. This one. This regulation specify the format, how we submit the report, frequency, target date for furnishing the static, returns and information. By either the licensee, distribution license also, generating companies, transmission licenses, persons, generating format 19 and format 20. Format 19, that is the statistics of the electrical accident, and the reason for the electrical accident is given in the shall be reported in the format 20. This is available in the website. If you Google, you can get this one. Inquiry of the electrical accident. An electrical accident related to any utility, they have to report their accident within the 48 hours to the concerned electrical inspectorate. For the ISRO case, you have to report to the CA Delhi and a copy to the RIO South Chennai. CIG to inquiry and a report is the cause of any accident. The central, the chief electrical inspector to government is the responsible to analyze this one. So he may be the appoint any, either he himself go, otherwise he appoint any inspector for the investigation of this one. Every electrical inspector or the person holding the inquiry have all the power of civil code under the Code of Civil Procedures, section 161 of the EA 2003. During the investigation process, the inspector having this much power, just like a civil court judge, whatever he want, the owner, otherwise the concerned nodal officer has to be submit the basic requirement during the investigation. The prepared report may be given to the concerned. It is given to the concerned organization for the further action, means the for the next precautionary actions, and also it is submitted to the concerned law enforcement agency if there is some suggestion, advice are there. Then next part is the statistics of the electrical accidents. If you see this one, in 2012, 13, here different categories are there: human fatal, human non-fatal, animal fatal, animal non-fatal, and total accident. Now, if you see this one, it was the peak during the 2014-15. During that time, the whole electrical system was the emerging system, and the most of the construction activities was going on. The most of the thermal plants as well as the bigger transmission lines had come in during that time. Now, if you see the 2012-13 and compare with the 1920, it look like that we are the very even we are having the much more accident. Yes, we have the much more accident, but compare with the power handling capacity, Gupta Sahab told us, per capita utilization, the number of electrical accident at that time, the total installed capacity was the 231 gigawatt only, and right now it is the 389 something gigawatt. So you can see that the installation wise, the total power handling capacity is the much more increased. The people are utilizing nowadays every home having the cooler and the ACs. At that time, maybe only the selected part of the society is using that one. The use of the electricity is so much increase, as well as the total volume of the electricity is the increase, but the accident is slightly in that range only. It means the number of accident decrease, and even we try to reduce this one by the organizing this type of awareness program. I again thank to the CISA to organize this type of program, and it should be continue apart from our CI division. You are our best helping. We are helping to us only. Next one is the accident case this is about the human only. 18, 19, there are so many accidents are there. Again, I inform that in 2021, the most of the human accidents happening in the that COVID centers. Recently, we go already aware with our media that the most of the accident are happening in that COVID center, in the hospitals and the malls only. The accident, some tuition center also there's some accidents. Accident case in the animals. So again, you can see the animal. It was in 19 1890. This all are the reported data only. Next one is the state-wise electrical accident. It is looking like that the UP and the Maharashtra having the much more accident. It's not like that because the other state having if you compare the Maharashtra which have handling the more than 45,000 megawatt and another state Sikkim which is having the only the 50 or 60 megawatt, we cannot compare that one. But the total volume of the electricity handled by that state is comparable with that one. So here still we have to improve in this state, the Maharashtra, Uttar UP and the Gujarat, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. But it is not like that the other states are having the very less. Whatever the volume of the electricity handled they were, as per that is the percentage is sufficient. So we need to be reduced, we need to be minimize the electrical accident. The percentage in the distribution sector different, Joinco sector, the chances is very less. The DISCOM, it is the almost 70% of the accidents occur in the DISCOM. DISCOM is the utilization only, and the Transco, including the substation, the 29%. Causes of electrical accident, you can see, this is the one picture taken in the Khatwaria Sarai from the Delhi. You can see this one. There may be definitely the chances of the accident will be there. Another one is the vegetation. You can see this is the picture of the Silvassa, DNA, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, where the distribution system, it is 11 kilovolt and that whole vegetation is there. The proper O&M has to be there. Even it is not approachable. Another is you can see proper water drainage system is not there. This is a big substation. It is the 400 kilovolt substation somewhere. I should not be mentioned here, but it is one big organization which having but there should be the properly water drainage system should have. Otherwise, there may be the chances of the leakage and the accident may be occur. Here, the right side diagram, we went for the one inspection. We told this commissioning of this transformer. We told these people to escape out. The concerned officer, something AE, and we told this AE to remove this one. After the 6 months, again I went there. The same thing was there. So the approach of the public towards the electrical handling of the electrical system is the very casual. That's why the accidents are occur. We have to be follow the strict regulations, strict rules, so that this type. Again, there is some vegetable sellers are there. Next one is the measure to curb the electrical accident. First one is the awareness, which we are doing. Our partner, the Gopa Kumar Sahab and the CISA, they are also doing the awareness program in our end-to-end we are doing. Next one is the electrical safety officer. If you are appointing the electrical safety officer in your organization, I ensure that the 80% of the burden of the owner will be with the electrical safety officer, means that we can minimize the electrical safety officer. Next one is the compliance. This is third number, strict compliance of the rules, regulation, and the periodic inspection has to be there. The people are faring with the periodic inspection. People are always be faring with the inspector, auditors, and it is not like that. Inspectors are coming only for the maintaining your equipment healthy, so that there should not be any accidents. Next one is the accountable. If any person is if some accidents occurs, so someone has to be the accountable. Otherwise, if the accountability is not there, the people are taking it in a very casual approach. Now, in Electricity Act 2003, Section 1, most of the people are asking, sir, if you are not following the regulation, what happened? What what one can do? Under Section 146, the punishment of the non-compliance of the order and the direction. Whoever be the first to comply any order or the direction or any rules regulation made under this one, having the imprisonment of for the term which may extend to the 3 months, and a fine may be extended to 1 lakh rupees with both in respect of each offence. And if it is continued to the failure of this one not comply the regulation, with additional fine of the 5,000 rupees per day can be increased. Now, need to be the more sachet. The CA along with the International Copper Association, we published a book that is called the Sachet. Sachet means strictness to the safety standard, adequate use of the PPEs, coordination during the workplace, hazardous identification, emergency action plan, and training of the employees. This book covering all these things, we can circulate this book in the soft copy to the Gopa Kumar Sahab. Gopa Kumar Sahab will be the circulate to the ISRO people. Each and every electrical people has to be go through that one. Each have do's and don'ts and everything has given, and snapshot of the regulation is also given. It is a very small book. Last, let us work together in creating electrical accident free India by complying all the safety standard rules and regulations. Thank you very much. Safety is the prime requirement. Again, I thanks to the CISA, especially the Gopa Kumar Sahab, to giving me opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Actually, one small announcement. For today afternoon's program and the consecutive tomorrow and the next 3 days program links, we will send an email by sometime. After this event is closed, we will send the email of all the links. So now we move on to the next. Next, we welcome.
Sir, I just before that one, if you want to share my slides, na, so you can share to the ISRO peoples so that they have to be go on through this one and it will be helpful.
Okay, sir. Sure. So next, we welcome Mr. Ritvik Anand. Hello.
Hello, sir. Can we ask some doubts, Mr. Rasa?
Either you can put here, otherwise after the next session you can put. No issue. As per our program, it is at the next session only after the completion of the morning session. Otherwise, if you can ask, no issue.
Yes, so Deepak, do you have time for 5 minutes question answers?
No issue. Sure.
Yeah,
preferably we can have it after the next session. We can have a combined question answer session.
Okay, then we will proceed with the other session.
So we shall proceed, right? So next, we welcome Mr. Ritvik Anand. Mr. Ritvik Anand is presently working as Scientist D in Electrotechnical Department of BIS. He is an engineer, joined BIS in the year of 2012 and is working in the standard formulation activities for the last years. He is also a member secretary of Technical Committee of Revision of National Electrical Code SP30 and a member of IEC System Committee on Low Voltage Direct Current Usage. So I welcome Mr. Ritvik Anand to proceed for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr.
Over to you,
Deepak.
sir.
I'll just share my presentation. Sir, I hope my presentation is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So thank you all. Very good afternoon to everyone. First, I would like to thank CISSA for organizing this very informative webinar on electrical safety. Today, the topic of my presentation is an overview of electrical safety standards, and I will also brief how standards are formulated in BIS and the role of BIS in standardization activity. So the first is the BIS, as you all know, is the National Standards Body of India. It was first established in the year 1947 as Indian Standard Institution with the objective to create quality goods and services to the nation. Later on, with the enactment of BIS Act 1986, it became Bureau of Indian Standards. Recently, government has passed BIS Act 2060, which gives it the status of National Standards Body of India. This is one of the cherishing memory where the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, laying the foundation of Indian Standard Institution. So as an organization, BIS is involved in various gamut of services. The foremost being the standardization activity. BIS is also running various conformity assessment scheme on standards. We have a wide range of laboratories. BIS is running hallmarking scheme, which is very famous among common consumers. In addition to these, we are also organizing various training programs for all our stakeholders, which will ensure consumer interest. So we have located it spread all over the country. Our offices are spread all over the country. These are various locations. So while taking up the standard formulations, we take care of certain things. That standards are like safety and functional requirements are adequately addressed in the standards. They promote interchangeability and provide ease of use to the consumer. They should also support consistent quality and economic production. In addition to that, that standards will also help in maintaining the energy efficiency parameters, which will keep our environment safe. So the standard is formulated basically through a technical committee structure, which comprises of experts of different stakeholders, right from manufacturers, government bodies, we have laboratories, there are academic institutions. So all these stakeholders are involved while formulating the standards. So we get the views of all the stakeholders, and we modify our standards and formulate our standard as which will suit our national requirement. So these are the various stages of formulation of standard formula. The first one is the coming up with the idea of a new work item proposal. Suppose when this committee, when they approve a new work item proposal, that when this a standard is required to be formulated on this subject, initial draft is prepared in the committee. Then this draft is circulated as P draft for views and comments of members of the committee. The next stage is wide circulation stage. This is one of the important stage of formulation of Indian standard, because here every stakeholders of our country, whether they are part of this committee or not, they can give their comment, they can give their views on the document. And we are hosting our standards on BIS website, so that everybody will get a chance to review that technical document, and they can help us in improving that document. Once these various comments received during wide circulation are received, then it was again discussed in the technical committee, and then it was finalized by the committee and published as Indian standards. So as you all see this, the standard formulation is basically a collaborative effort where all the experts, scientists, and technologists are involved in formulating an Indian standard. These are various areas where BIS is taking standardization. Almost all the branches of engineering and non-engineering are covered, like chemical, civil engineering, electronics, electrotechnical, food and agriculture, management systems. So we are covering almost every branch of engineering and non-engineering subjects in our standardization activity. So in electrical sector, we have ETDC, which is responsible for standardization in the field of electrical power generation, transmission, and distribution. At present, there are 44 sectional committee in ETDC, and more than 1,600 technical experts are involved. So these are various list of various technical committees. As you can see from this subject, like ETD1 is for the basic electrotechnical standards and power quality related subjects. ETD2 is on insulating material subject. So whatever, there are 44 technical committee which are covering various branch of various subjects of electrical engineering. So basically the safety of electrical installation is covered under ETD20 sectional committee. And there are these are the list of various technical committees. So this slide gives you some facts and figures about Electrotechnical Division Council. Till date, we have published around 1,742 standards, which are on various subjects, and it covers product standards, test methods, code of practice, like that. At present, our 40 Indian standards are under mandatory certification scheme of BIS, and 19 standards are under CRS, like compulsory registration scheme of BIS. So BIS as a national standard body is also active and participating in international standardization body like IEC and ISO. BIS is experts from BIS are representing in as a member and technical expert in IEC and ISO committee. In ETD, we are participating member in 47 IEC technical committee and observer member in about 15 technical committees of IEC. Similarly, we are participating member in about 2 ISO committees, and in one of the committee we are observer member. So in international standards also, experts from India are contributing and providing their views and expertise in formulation of international standards. So there are some new initiatives which BIS has recently undertaken, which will help us in improving the quality of standards and making it in line with the latest international practices. Like we have created one online portal specifically, that is manakonline.in, where every individual can create a login ID and provide their views or comments on draft and standard online through that portal. They can also propose new subjects for formulation of Indian standard wherever they feel that there is no standard on that particular subject, or they feel that there is some need to revise the some standard. They can give their views, recommendation directly online through our portal. Some other initiatives, like we have started review of our Indian standards through action research project basis. So in that we are requesting eminent R&D institutions, academia institutions, so take up action research project for revising or formulating Indian standards. Time to time we are holding various webinars and awareness program, which is very well necessary for improving our standards. We are creating standardization cells in various industries, associations, and academic institutions like IITs, so that the persons who are involved, the students, they can know about the standardization from very beginning of their career, and they can contribute in standard formulation. And we are also signing memorandum of understanding with various R&D institutions like IIT Delhi, IIMs, various technical institutions. So these are various new initiatives undertaken by BIS for standard formulation. So coming to the today's topic of presentation, that is electrical safety is of, as you all know, is of serious concern, as we observe that there are a lot of huge loss of life and property due to electrocution, which may be caused due to overload, short circuit, and leakage current. So this can easily be prevented if regulations, code, and standards are followed and religiously, and it can be properly, and they are properly implemented. So this slide gives you a indication about electrical accident occurring at various voltage level. So you can see that most of the electrical accidents are about more than 50% of electrical accidents are at the low voltage level, and this can easily be minimized if we follow our standards. This slide gives statistics about electrical accidents in our country, and this has already been very well explained in the previous presentation by Rathore sir. So I am just skipping this slide. So this slide gives you various issues that are related with the electrical safety. What are the main causes of electrical accidents that are happening due to in the low voltage side? Basically, the main thing is nowadays our installations are quite old. There is no maintenance on our installation. Some of the installations are there are design issues that standards are not followed while creating those installations. We are not providing proper training and skill to the person who is maintaining those installations. And also there are some maintenance issues like the various guidelines which are mentioned in our standards to how to maintain a structure, what are the periodicity of maintaining and doing inspection of electrical installation that are not being followed. So these are the main core issues which led to electrical accidents. This picture is depicting some poor quality electrical installations which causes accidents. So this slide gives you a overview how our current is affecting a human body. As you can see that a very minimum current of about 0.5 milliampere is causing a discomfort to a human body, and we started feeling like heart vibration and tissue damage at a current of 50 milliampere and 80 milliampere. So it is very necessary that electrical standards are followed in, so that there will not be any loss of life and property due to this accident. So, as already informed in by Madam Preeti Bhatnagar Madam in her morning speech, that ETD 20 sectional committee is related to safety of standards on safety of electrical installation. So it covers various issues related to design, erection, and maintenance of electrical installation. Till date, this committee has published 66 Indian standards, and 2 standards are presently under development. So these are various important standards published by ETD 20 committee. IS 732, as you all know, that this is one of the important standards that is related to electrical wiring installation. 3043 is related to earthing. IEC 62305 is on lighting protection. SP30, which is a compilation guide on National Electric Code of India. And recently we have published an important standard, IS 17512, about which our previous speakers are informed about the electrical accident in medical location, which is very necessary in this pandemic era. So to cover the safety aspects of the electrical installation in medical locations, we have recently published IS 17512. All in the coming lectures of 4 days, our technical experts from our committees will brief you and explain you about these standards. And the 2 standards which are presently under development is the revision of National Electric Code of India, which is very prestigious document of this committee, and the other one is the electrical installation. We are preparing one guide, a small guide, which will help people to refer different standards. So we are preparing one guide on electrical installation in buildings. Brief about IS 732. This standard covers the design, selection, and erection and verification of various kind of buildings, like residential building, commercial building, industrial, agriculture. All these kind of buildings are covered in IS 732. There are 6 clauses in this standard. The clause 1 is referring scope of that standard. There are various standards, Indian and international standards are referred in clause 2. And the terminologies related to these standards are mentioned in clause 3 of the standard. Clause 4 of the standard covers assessment of various characteristics required for electrical installation. Clause 5 is related to selection and erection of various electrical equipment. In clause 6, verification is mentioned, how initial and periodic inspection needs to be conducted. So if that clause 4, 5, 6 are followed, if any building in electrical installation is done in any building as per clause 4, 5, 6, then we can declare a building that it is safe. There are basically 4 kind of safety which is given in our standard IS 732, that is protection against electric shock. It provides also protection against thermal effect, provides protection against overcurrent, and protection against voltage distribution. So in electric shock, there are basically 3 kind of protection is given. The first one is basic protection, in which the live parts are required to be covered through insulation. Then there is a fault protection, in which we are using earthing and equipotential bonding. And there are also additional protection measures where 30 milliampere RCDs are required to be used in electrical installation. Then there is a protection against thermal effect, which is harmonized with IEC 60364-4-42. In that, equipment are required to be kept such that there will be arms reach out from a person, and it will protect the individual from thermal effects. And there are also protection against overcurrent, which is harmonized with our IEC 60364-4. It also covers protection against voltage distribution and electromagnetic disturbances. In that, it is harmonized with IEC 60364-4-44. And there are various measures like lighting protection as per IEC 62305 is given in standard. Then there are measures related to selection and erection of equipment, which is given in clause 5 of that standard. In that way, there's a method to how to select a device, how to select a wiring, how to select a cable sizing, RCD, SPD selection. These are given in the standard. In clause 6 of the standard covers the verification, which covers various kind of tests which are required to be done. It covers both initial verification and periodic verification. In general cases, it is mentioned that about 4 years frequency is given for verification of an installation, and for dwellings, 8-year frequency is recommended in standard. Now I just inform you about the National Electric Code, that the standard is presently under revision. Basically, it is a compilation of various standards which are already available and related to electrical safety. And the recommendation about National Electric Code is also given in Indian Electricity Rule 1956. So this standard covers good practices for selection of various electrical equipment. It recommends safety and related measures in wiring electrical installations, general electrical safety procedures, and the additional precautions we have to follow when we are dealing with electrical installation in explosive and active atmospheres. NEC applies to standby emergency generating plants, domestic dwelling, official buildings, medical locations, hotels, multi-storied buildings, sport buildings. So there are different kind of use cases are also mentioned, that what are the specific requirement when we are dealing with specific special locations installation. It has 8 parts and 51 sections and subsections. So these are various 8 parts available in NEC. First is general and common aspects. Part 2 is on generating electrical installation in generating substation and captive substation. Part 3 is on non-industrial buildings. Part 4 is on industrial buildings. Part 5 is related to outdoor installation. Part 6 is on agriculture premises. Part 7 is related to hazardous area. And part 8 is on solar PV installation. So these are various chapters that are available in part 8, part 1. There are 22 various chapters available in part 1 of NEC. So there are important chapters like earthing, which is covered in section 8, lightning protection, which is covered in section 19, and power quality related issues are covered in section 20. Energy efficiency aspects are covered in section 21. Similarly, these are the chapters related to part 2 of the standard. Part 3 is dealing with special locations like electrical installation in swimming pools, in a domestic dwelling, in a medical location, in a conducting location. So there are also 22 chapters which are covered in NEC part 3. Similarly, for part 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which I have already explained to you. So the key message is there are 4 kind of electrical risks for which a protection is required. Basically, it is related to electrical shock, thermal effect, overcurrent, and voltage and electromagnetic disturbance. This can easily be prevented if we follow our standards and regulation religiously. We have to properly select the equipment. We have to we have to do proper installation as per standard, and we have and also the verification by qualified personnel is also required time to time for those installation. So that is all from my side. I request the members and attendees who are attending this session to kindly go through this slide, and whenever they feel that there are, as I explained to you, there are about 44 technical committees which are formulating standards on different subjects. So I request the experts from ISRO also, they can request us to be part of that committee if they want. They have expertise in any of the subject. They can request. We are happy to involve them in standard formulation so that we can get a view of all the stakeholders, which will help our national standards align with our latest international standards. So thank you all.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Now we can have the question and answer session. I believe the participants can unmute and ask questions.
So this is Arthur here from ISRO headquarters. Sir, in the IE rules, that is the latest amendment has happened. In that it mentioned, sir, the substation or switching substation with apparatus more than 2,000 liter of oil shall not be located at the basement. But those if there are two transformers of like 1,000 liter capacity, or even more than that. But if it is like that, then whether it can be possible, then it will be exceeding the 2,000 liter. Then in that case, what will be conditions, sir? I want to know, sir.
Yes, sir. Shall I answer, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Sir, basically, that in regulation itself, it is telling about the 2,000 liter. If two transformers are there and they have the separate at a safe distance, means they are installed in a properly safe distance, then it is the remaining 2,000 for the individual transformer. But you can commission that two transformer with a safe distance only. There is no any addition like that. One is 2,000 plus 2,000 is the 4,000. They are the individual 2,000 only, and both transformers should be installed at a separately at a safe distance. Now, what is safe distance? Then wafer wall has to be there. Apart from their ground, the conductive part to the wafer wire, some distance is specified. That distance you have to be follow. Wafer wire has to wall should be there. Means the fire protecting wall should be there. There is no addition like anything is there.
Answer this oil soak pit. Oil soak pit should be a common oil soak pit if it is provided. The two transformers are there, and the oil soak pit for the two transformers should be separate, or should be a common oil soak pit.
Sir, it should be the separate only. That two instrument, the two equipment should be that separately treated.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir. Another thing is that in this regulation, we are talking about new regulation. We are talking about the capacity. So that liter capacity is again that the oil liter capacity. It is converted to the transformer capacity. So the new regulation in 2021, that is replaced by the instead of 2,000 liter, it is a sum of 5 MVA or the 10 MVA.
Okay, sir.
Sir, further to this doubt, I have one more question.
Sir,
sir, when we have a 2,000 liter oil capacity transformer, we provide a soak pit for draining the complete quantity in case of any fire or anything. Suppose we are providing a nitrogen injection system protection for the transformer. In that case, only the top 10% oil will be drained to the soak pit. In this case also, whether we need to provide a soak pit of a full 2,000 liter capacity or a separate soak pit for each transformer, or it can be a single soak pit connecting all the transformers.
Sir, it is not specified yet, but during the commissioning, this should be treated as a separate. But soak pit is, so far as the soak pit is concerned, if they are sufficient to absorb this fuel, then there is no need of the separate soak pit, as per my opinion.
But any further guidance is being issued in this aspect, sir?
No, sir. No, sir. As per the regulation, there should be the separate soak pit.
But capacity can be only 10% of the transformer oil.
Then even sir, even it is even you have to be separate. You provide the separate soak pit.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Mr. Rathod, this is Subramaniam from headquarters. I have one question regarding lifts, elevators. Only for license, different states have different regulations. Right? Some states, state electrical inspectorate gives the approval for lifts. Whereas in some part, actually, Tamil Nadu and all, CE only is giving the approval. As a part of electrical installation, you do a comprehensive inspection, and including lifts, given approval. It is not common everywhere. Can you please throw some light on this?
Yes, sir. Sir, one very important thing here, that is the so far as the ISRO is concerned, they need not to approach the electrical inspectorate. I mean, the state electrical inspectorate. They had to be only approached to the CA only. Otherwise, the regional office of CA only further lift inspection. Now, your second part of the means further your lift installation, the approval has to be given by the CA office only, either RIO South, RIO West, otherwise the CI division. Second part is the different state having the different regulation. It is not correct that all the regulation has to be made by the CA only. They adopt the regulation for their convincing, for their convenient point of view. They are making a guideline only, not the rules, sir. Guideline only. They cannot be make the rule. The framing of the rule authority is the central electricity authority only as per the Electricity Act. No any electrical in any state having the authority to frame any rules. They having the only guideline.
Okay, thank you. Then what is the periodicity of inspection, sir, for lifts, sir, normally?
Sir, again the same thing, that it will be the 650 volt plus, then it is the 2 year, it is the under the 650 volt, it is the 4 year. The motor operated at a voltage level which is the 650 and above, it is 2 year. If it is the 650 volt, I'm talking about the volt.
Hello.
Haan, sir.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sir, is there any accredited people who can do this inspection after 2 years and 4 years? In state-wise, any list is there?
Sir, sir, again I repeat that. Basically, sir, this is as per the notification of the government. Now, if it is the government notification, there is no any separate that type of rule that lift is inspected is this one. That notification is as per the voltage level and electrical equipment. So the lift is under that only they are inspected. Now, so far as the state is concerned, the installation which is under the state purview, they having the state notification. State means their energy ministry having some notification about the periodicity of the inspection.
Okay.
So this is there, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I think Apav sir is having some answer to add.
Sir, myself Ravi. Sir, is it audible?
Yes, audible.
Sir, myself Ravi from MCF. Sir, we have the systems up to 11 kV rating, and we have the operating staff well qualified and then well experienced people are there. Is it necessary to have that competency certificate for operations?
Sir, the electrical competency certificate, that is the supervisor, electrical supervisor.
Yeah.
This is for the constructional purpose. Another thing, it is the O&M purpose. O&M purpose, any electrical engineer who having the degree or the diploma with the sufficient experience cannot be need a competency certificate.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
This is Ramesh from Seharikota. Is that audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
This is a corollary to what Mr. Ravi asked from MCF. Actually, when it comes to the periodical inspection of our electrical installations, actually we have hundreds and almost thousands of installations across our centers. While during the commissioning, we involve invariably CEA. During the normal course of O&M, should we have the periodical inspection done by CEA, or is it that our committees can take the role of inspection?
Sir, I again repeat the same thing. Whatever the rules and regulations framed under the Electricity Act, if you are not follow that one, the action has to be taken under the 146 section. Now the regulation 30, which is the clear-cut guided that any installation which having depending on the periodicity given by the central government or the state government should be inspected at their fixed interval of time. So under the regulation 30, the installation has to be the periodically inspected and a renewable should be there. So it has to be there, sir. Even the ISRO is the, so far as the electrical is concerned, the ISRO is a very small organization, because we are dealing with the NTPC and the power grid and other state board. There are so many installations are there. Even there, periodically we are inspecting them frequently and issuing the approval letter for the extension of their continuing.
Yes.
Again, I repeat this, sir. If anyone is telling that I am not following the regulation, what should be there? So it is as per the regulation only.
Sorry, I don't require any service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Next, sir.
Sir, I am Sangar Subramanian from IPRC, Mahendragiri. Sir, this draft regulation for 2021, actually I have gone through, sir. Lot of things it is written in black and white. Okay, sir. In the sense, there is no pictorial representations of how to proceed. Some color mode, because this is being carried out for almost for some long years. Okay, sir. Now okay, at this point, we should introduce some graphical representation with color mode. That is easy for all the people to understand.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. You are asking about the practical that the way to learning that regulation. But sir, till the date, even our constitution, articles, IPC, the codes, anywhere, the rules and regulation have not any pictorial view. They are in the statement form, paragraphical form only. The rule is never having such type of diagram. For the guideline purpose, to understand that one, we can include that one, but it is not the Gazette notified. We can share with the whatever we having the guideline, but it is not the we cannot be include the graphical or the pictorial representation in the regulation, sir.
Correct, sir, but it gives a clear idea for the people to implement.
I understand, sir.
Lot of some misconceptions, sir.
No, I understand, sir. Academically, it is okay to learn. For the learning point of view, it is okay. But sir, in any regulation, if you've gone through the IPC, Indian Penal Code, nowhere they explain that one. Where the some pictorial or some punishment is going on, this type of hanging is there. Nothing will be there. In any regulation, any rule, no pictorial is there, sir. A picture and a graphical representation is never included in the rules and regulations. But we can share our guideline for understanding purpose.
Okay. Shall I add here a small answer? Shall I add here, Gopakumar Desai?
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, across the globe, the rules and regulation mostly doesn't have any pictorial representations. There are some organizations, those who publish a guide, how to read. So, whereas in India, this guide is also missing. Actually, as a part of our program, our 1-year program, we are trying to make a guide.
Yes.
This guide, maybe 25% we made, but this guide we will be completing only after the publication of this 2021 regulation and the National Electrical Code. We will have a guide with pictures. So that will be a solution.
It will be helpful, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I am Radhakrishnan from IPRC ISRO Mahendragiri. Sir, during the inaugural session, our Sharma Shah has told that this electrical safety has to be taken to the school level. I feel it is more important whether CEA has any proposal to the Government of India. And in Tamil, one proverb is that if you are not teaching in 5 years old child, you cannot teach afterwards. It's a proverb in Tamil. So is there any proposal, sir?
Sir, thank you, sir. basically the part, the matter was discussed in that third standing committee at Faridabad, and where it was decided that even the taluka level people and the gram panchayat level people, apart from the industry and academic institution, taluka, gram panchayat level, patwari level people, we have to be aware them, and they had to be aware to their respective ground level, even at the village level people. So far as the CA has conducted the more than 25 workshops at a national level only, and some are the international and some are the industry specific awareness program. Now your question is that if any child is not aware with the use of the electricity, then there may be chances of the accident. I am 100% agree, sir. The parent need to be the educated that one, because the CA having the proposal, 100% CA having the in there, it is on record also. The taluka level, up to the taluka level, CA has to be conduct this type of awareness program. But in even the engineering college also we are going, and we are delivering the lecture about the awareness of this program. So but we cannot, the CA, being a CA, the whole nation cannot be covered. The Gopakumar Sahib is our helping us. So is this type of our means the joint venture may be definitely helpful. Are the ISRO, whatever the outcome here, that can be spread up to the employees as well as the family of the ISRO people, then I am 100% confident that there will not be any accident in the ISRO, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, here I like to add one thing. We are talking about educational utilization of our standards and regulations. In that, sir, BIS has taken one initiative. They have written to Ministry of Human Resource and Development to include standards in their syllabus of engineering colleges, so that the students will aware about the standards and they can start following those. And we are also writing or in fact signed an MOU with Kendriya Vidyalayas spread all over the country to make them aware about the standards at school level. So it's just an addition.
Sir, one important thing I want to share in during my the sixth semester, one subject in our university, that was the IMT, and one chapter was the I rule in that IMT subject. So that type of we can be included. Even the Sachet is also the same, that can be helpful for the peoples in the institutions. Thank you.
Sir, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are having some departmental staff which have completed diploma. Whether it is required to have them competency certificate.
Sir, so far as the diploma people, if they having the more than 10-year experience, no need not to take the competency certificate.
Okay. So actually, as per CA regulation, it is mentioned that the person involved in operation of substation should have undergone the training in specified as a Schedule 1 and Schedule 2.
Sir, training means the refreshment training, sir. It is not the competency certificate.
No. The thing is that, sir, the Schedule 1, Schedule 2, they mentioned that training has to be compulsory. So what are the institutions under which the training can be carried out?
Sir, compulsory means just like our junior level training, middle level training, like that was only, it is for the refreshment training, in the awareness training.
No, sir. Actually, as per Schedule 1 and Schedule 2, it is given
Yes. I agree, sir. I agree, but it is not related with the competency certificate.
No, my point is that, sir, from which institution you have to undergo the training? What are the institutions?
Yes. That institute has to be the recognized institute either by the government, central government, state government, like the CPRI, the PSCI, otherwise NPTI, otherwise even the ITI, that is HRD approved institute, otherwise CI approved institute.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, this is Mohan from MCF Hassan. I have one clarification. Can you audio me?
Yes, tell me.
Sir, we are constructing MS building. That height is 27 meter and the transformer proposed is 250 kVA. Whether the CEO clearance is required or self-certification is sufficient?
Sir, 100% it needs the CA approval because it is the crossing the 15-meter height. That's the up to the 15-meter height. The electrical installation is the exempted from. It is under the self certification. Now it is since it is 27 meter na, that electrical installation has to be the inspected and approval needs, sir.
Sir, this is Sridhar from ISRO headquarters. In continuation to Mr. Mohan's question, sir, we have received amendments in May 2016 for Regulation 32, Regulation 2, and Regulation 36, where we can do self-certification up to 11 kV voltage level and 500 kV of DG capacity. In spite of this, whether again we have to go for CA inspection or just our self-inspection report will suffice, sir.
Sir, again I want to tell the clarification regarding this one, that amendment na 11 kilovolt or 500 kVA are the 15 meter. If any one of them is not satisfied, then the self certification is not applicable. If it is less than 11 kilovolt, but building height is the more than 15 meter, inspection has to be there. If it is below 11 kilovolt and having the capacity of 250 kVA, building height is 20 meter, it needs to be the inspection. If building height is the 12 meter and the capacity is the more than 500, it needs the inspection. If voltage level is the more than 11 kilovolt, capacity is the 200 kVA, 12 meter, even it needs the inspection. All these three conditions satisfy, then only it is self-certified. Another thing is that it is not applicable for the ISRO. Apart from this one, if any organization is under the Factory Act 1948, then this exemption is not applicable for them.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Question to Mr. Ananda regarding HVAC installation. HVAC installation, IS standards available, Mr. Anand? HVAC. Still, we are following chiller installations of some ASHRAE and other international bodies. IS has not come out with some standards on HVAC.
Sir, we are
systems or chillers and such.
Sir, actually, HVAC is covered in our mechanical engineering department. I am from electrical engineering department. So I think we have a specific committee on HVAC, and there are referred on HVAC. But if you can email to me, I can forward that to our MED, and they can inform you about the specific standards available on and all.
Thank you.
Sir, again, this is Ravi regarding the IS standard only. Sir, details of all these standards are available in the public domain, or anything is not available?
Sir, all our standards are available at BIS website, and in fact, last year BIS has also taken a decision that all the indigenous developed Indian standards are available free of cost for download to all the users. And those which are IC adoption due to copyright issue, you have to pay a nominal price to purchase those standards. So all our standards are available on the public domain.
Thank you.
Sir, in addition to that, as we get from ISRO headquarters, in addition to that, we have one license purchased by VSSC for paid subscription. Is there any other procedure to go ahead to have that kind of license to download the paid standard?
Sir, I'm not able to.
In order to have standards downloaded for our use for different centers, we have one license purchased for downloading the paid standards, BIS paid standards by VSSC, one of our centers. in order to have this kind of subscription for all our centers, what is the procedure that needs to be carried out?
Sir, we have a specific sales department. They have different subscription available. Like if you want to purchase all electrotechnical standards or all civil engineering standards, so they have different subscription available related to your using capacity and requirement. So you can contact them. They will inform all
Who is
about
the
how you can.
person to be contacted, sir? Any details can be shared that procedures
Yes,
to
sir.
be followed?
Their email ID is sales@bis.gov.in. Otherwise, you can visit our website, and in our website everything is mentioned down. So just visit our website, or you can. I will share my presentation with you. In that, my email address is also written. You can write to me. I can forward it to our related department.
Mr. Ritvik, this is
Yep.
Sridhar from headquarters again. Sir, my question is, why a standard has to be sold when it is meant to be ours for public?
Sir, as
It
I
can be
informed you
provided
already
free
that.
of cost to.
Sir, all over internationally, no standard is available free of cost. But BIS has taken one decision that all indigenous developed standard, whatever we have developed indigenously, that is available free of cost to all the users. But since in IEC, whatever standards we are adopting from IEC, there is some copyright issues related to IEC, so they can not make their standards. That's why you have to pay a nominal cost for the IEC adopted standard. Otherwise, all indigenous developed standards are available free of cost at. Yes.
Sir, off the record, I want to tell something. Here, basically, what happened? It is not BIS is not like you can say that a news agency where the sponsors are there. They have to be sustained by them, their autonomous body. So maybe the small pricing is not much more better so far as the organization is concerned. For the individual, it is having the better for individual.
Sir, shall I add a small answer here? Hello, this is Gopakumar. Shall I add a small answer? Sir, for example, the IEC standard on low voltage safety, IEC 60364, there are several sub-standards. All the standards together, if you buy from IEC, it's about 75,000 rupees. But the same equivalent IS 732, you can download free of charge. So this is one case, the safety standard. Then the lightning protection standard, if you look at the 62305 downloaded from IEC, this will cost about 25 to 27,000 rupees. Whereas if we buy from BIS, the same standard, it's only 2,000 rupees. So it is a chargeable basis. The IEC, the dual standard, if it's a IEC standard, it's chargeable, but the cost is very nominal, not like the cost of IEC. And some of the IEC standards are already adopted as IS standard. Example is IS 732, which is free of cost. If you buy the same equivalent IEC, 75,000 rupees. So we cannot say that all the standards are chargeable. Yes, of course, but very, very nominal charge. Thank you.
Sir, again, one question. As we are adopting IEC, any other country is adopting BIS, sir?
Sir, actually, in IEC, there are a lot of country about if you talk about safety of electrical installation, ICTC 64, there are about 20-25 countries that are member of those that committee. So they all are like adopting or adapting their IEC standard as per their requirement. And similarly, sir, we have an like a regional organization called SARSO, in which the members of SAARC countries are member, and that we are like Bhutan, Nepal, they are also adopting and requesting BIS to formulate or requesting BIS to adopt Indian standards like that. So as a policy, we are harmonizing our standards with international practices and international standards so that there will not be any issue, trade barrier when some manufacturer or somebody is using that standard.
Sir, I'm Srijesh from ISRO headquarters, sir. You have mentioned that shock treatment, what are the milliamps, what will be the effect of those milliamps, and what should be the RCD that we should be using in our all electrical installations. There are in market there are 30 milliamps, 100 milliamps, 300 milliamps available. So what should be we should be using, and with the NBC they have told for the specific application that we should use 30 milliamps, and other application we can use 100 milliamps, like that it was mentioned.
Yes.
So what would be for generalization?
So generally it is recommended 30 milliamps for our household purposes, and for fire protection I think it is 200 milliamps is given.
Shall I answer here?
Yeah.
Sir, for any shock protection of human being from electric shock, it is maximum 30 milliampere. And if the protection is as a fault protection against fire, then it is maximum 300 milliampere. These are the residual current limits. In between, we have a practice of using 100 milliampere, but 100 milliampere is not a specified value. So 30 and 300 milliampere, these are the specified values. And in addition, say for example, if you have a rooftop solar PV system, and if you have there is no electrical isolation, separation between the AC and DC, then you are supposed to make a 30 milliampere type B RCD. RCDs, there are three types: type AC, type A, type B, and there is, I think, type F also. So type B must be used for if you have solar rooftop PV system, or if you have large variable frequency drives with a DC bus voltage of more than, let us say, 400 volt.
Yes, sir. This IEEE 81 guide they have told now regarding this shock treatment studies and all. Different weight, considering the weight of a human being, and 1 second. 50 kg, 70 kg, like that kind of. So any generalization is proposed that this only should be used, like whether BIS is coming up with any proposal that we should use only.
Sir, actually, there is an international rule. The standard is IEC 61140. Across the globe, the shock levels with respect to touch voltage and with respect to the threshold of the current has to be made as per this IEC standard. Even in IEEE, they follow the same rule. So basically, the rule is set by the IEC. BIS already adopted the standard. It is already available as a BIS standard. I think few years back it is made. If you want the number, I can tell you. It is ISIC 60479. There are 5 parts, part 1 to 5, 60479. Actually, these are becoming the part of our today's, and these 4 days we are going to explain these subjects only.
Okay, sir. I'll in detail that.
Yes, these details will be explained very well in detail. And actually, our next 3 days, the trainings are based on the IS standard. So we will be explaining what is written and how this has to be understood.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Sir, Rathorji, you are mute. Rathorji, you are on mute.
Yes.
I suggested that if anyone having the more question, so they have to send through the mail and we have to answer through the mail only. Right now already the something 1:30 something.
Yeah,
so it is
okay.
It is better that if anyone is having any doubt or any type of question, they have to send to your mail and forward us. We have to give the answer, sir. It will be better.
Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you very much.
Fine, Gopal. We can take it to the afternoon session.
Yeah. So, sir, we have the next session about lightning protection in the afternoon, and next 3 days we are going to have continuous programs. So, for the time being, I hope it is we have overshooted the time to 1 hour. So, we would like to thank all of you for the participation. We will send the link again to all the registered participants in another 15-20 minutes. Please join us at 2:30 for the next session, lightning protection. So, by this, we would like to end up the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Hello, sir. Amori is from ISRO IPRC. I would like to thank Mr. Rathore sir for using